Yes. Oh.
Yes, thanks to me, we've got a class act on the show. The show's been going downhill every week, but I made a call last week, and we finally got a class act on the show.
Yeah.
Hello, Gary Gliss. Oh, no, that was last week.
I was going to say, Liz, you've just been running us down while the record was on. Constantly berating us.
Mark King's here. Hooray!
Wow. And Mike Lindon, level 42.
As a special
Good
bonus.
morning.
We didn't know you were coming, you know. We had to get that folding chair.
Well, he's the class bit.
Oh, I'm very comfortable, it is too. It's
Typical of Liz, she was saying a moment ago, you know, you look much better in real life than you do on the stage. It's typical, isn't it, Kershaw?
Mike Lindon, on stage, you can actually say, Mike, check your makeup and the lighting for this new series of shows, but you can look a bit gaunt.
No, I'll tell you what that is. It's a head mic, you see. He wears one of those head mics that comes around the side.
I thought he had a moustache.
It looks like that fish from Stingray.
And it's sort of, it used to get in the way of my teeth, and it looked very funny from some angles, but I've got rid of that now.
What, the teeth?
No. He's the only guy that gets fan mail from dentists, you know.
I've got a fan mail. Straight away, Val from Norfolk writes, I know Mark is going to be on the show on Saturday. Will you tell him I tried to get tickets for the University of East Anglia gig but failed, so as a consolation prize, can I please marry Mike Lindon? Are you married?
I'm not married, no.
Well, there you
Will you be getting married, Mike?
Then.
Looks
Thank
like
you very much. I'll add it to the collection.
You see, this week
I'm available now, so I'm sort of back on the market.
Don't start. They're in the news of the world again tomorrow, won't you?
Sort the second prize. Oh, it's got the droops, look.
There you go.
Well, it's that kind of time in the morning, isn't it? Thank you very much.
Are you on the market then? Is that what you're telling us?
I am, yes. I'm available for life.
Clubs, discos, parties.
The mitzvahs, that kind of thing.
It's a bit
Hey, who was that? That was a letter, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they actually do exist, look.
I'll share them out because our mailbag's gone up 10
It's from Andrea.
Yeah.
1219, fan number.
Andrea Hall of Nottingham sent you a picture of yourself on stage.
Hello, Andrea.
So how are these gigs going then, Mark?
Well, I'm really thrilled with them. They're going fantastically well. Notice I've dropped into I'd like to answer that in two ways if I can. I sound like a politician, don't I? Yeah. They're going brilliantly. It's fantastic that we've done nearly 50,000 tickets and we haven't had anything out for 2 years now.
Is this because everyone's expecting you to do all the old stuff?
I don't know if it's because of that, because we're very pleased to be doing, because we've got an album to be released in the new year, and so we're doing like a segment early on in the show where we play material from that.
Yeah, get the new stuff out.
Well, we wanted to do this, you know, because it's been such a long time since we had some material out and we have got such a faithful fan following.
Well, you've got one here.
Absolutely, Mark. I know what you mean, mate.
You know, so we didn't want to just sort of short-change everybody by just playing the older stuff. So we sort of do this. We come in with some old stonkers, and then we play a lot of the new material, and then we go on and do like sort of right from the very first song we ever wrote, Love Meeting Love, and zap through.
Right. So we're hearing all the classics as well then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, he's had his tickets since before they were printed.
Yeah,
Since
April.
April he started.
I printed them myself.
Well, it's very nice. I think it's
He loves
it's marvellous.
In fact, if you want to buy any.
If Bruno was a girl, he'd marry you. I'm telling you, would.
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
Every week he says, can we play some level 42, Liz?
Now, look, Liz, you leave him alone about this. I think it's absolutely charming.
He is.
Hey, actually, yeah, I could do with a bit of support, guys. So, you know, if you're feeling in the mood to actually put Liz down, because she does give me a hard time in the show, especially over my musical taste.
We can gang up, can't we, this week? Well, what sort of thing do you like, Liz?
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter.
I mean,
Well, there's nothing
Gary
wrong with
Glitter's
that.
No, I like...
says
Look,
he's got all his annuals.
I've been to see level 42.
And his second-hand clothes.
I like level 42. I just don't talk about it every single weekend.
Neither do I. I
And
play the music. Just saying a moment ago, Mike Lindon is sitting here almost critically, as if you've never heard that record before, and it's as if you're making an appearance on Round Table.
Well, it's funny because it's when you actually hear the record as it came out, and because we've been playing this live since 1982 when we recorded it, it sounds a lot different now to how it was then, so it's kind of interesting to make the comparison.
Would you say that Level 42 were one of the most underrated bands?
Oh, yes.
Well, I think we're...
Not on this show.
I don't think we are by the people that buy the records, but we have been a lot by the, you know, the gentlemen of the music press, as I've said before.
Yeah.
We've sort of been, oh, yeah, well, you know, they don't have street cred and all this, and we we were sort of felt as though we had to fight off this tag, and then we said, wait a minute, you know, we make records that people buy and people like, and the concerts are really good, so it doesn't really matter.
Because it's as if you're not supposed to. Liz and I are often chatting about this on the air. It's as if you're not supposed to rave about a band like Level 42. It's as if it's wrong to do it.
Yes, it's pathetic, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
What's
Being
wrong?
in the band, of course. On the other hand, if I was, one of these mop heads from Manchester, I think it was all tosh anyway.
Well, will they last? Will they
I hope
last,
not.
the mop heads?
Well,
good luck to them.
the good ones will. I mean,
of course they will.
any wave throws up a bunch of bands, and a few of them will disappear, but the ones that sort of have some kind of originality and inventiveness will continue.
I don't think I really appreciated you till I saw you live on Bruno's recommendation, and then I went to one of your shows at Wembley, and I was dead impressed.
Well, it ties in really with what Mike said about the street cred thing, because if so many trends in music are led by fashion and things, and this is something that I guess you could hardly say we've been at the forefront of. However, for me, the meat and potatoes is actually the band being able to cut it and play, and we've always sort of prided ourselves in the fact that we have been quite good musicians, and we've sort of had this tradition in the band that through the lineup changes through the years, we've always had good musicians in. And which is why we're sort of particularly thrilled at the moment. We've got on guitar, we're very lucky to have a guy called Alan Holdsworth, who's the most fantastic guitarist. And we've augmented the band also with a brass section. We've got Gary Barnacle and John Thurkel on saxophone and trumpet.
Brilliant.
And they're wonderful. Not only are they great players, that they're such great fun to be with.
I've always been worried that whilst you've been making all these sort of lineup changes, through the years, that it would never be as good as it was. But of course, it keeps getting better. So, has it ever worried you that you've had to change the lineup and who you choose?
I think that if your strengths really are musical, and it's not, if you're not sort of fishing for a direction all the time, I don't think we've ever had a problem with the direction that we're going in. And that's obviously why we're still here 10 years on, because we've never sort of shortchanged the fans by sort of heaving off in one direction or losing sight of where we are supposed to be going. So it's never been a problem about bringing things in. Like when we started out with the four-piece, it was me, Mike, Phil and Boone. And then we added Chris Mack on saxophone. Well, Chris isn't with us this time. But then we also added Annie McCaig on backing vocals. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Annie.
Wake up. And on this time, we've also augmented the BVs with Lyndon Connor as well, who plays a bit of keyboards and does some great singing with us. So it's like the band sort of expands up as and when we need it to. And it's very much a sort of a working unit on stage.
So I could be talking like this all morning, Liz. Liz won't let me, sort of keep asking these sort of technical questions, Mark.
No, she's not at all.
We have to do this sort of, have to do things like the weddings, and changing direction very shortly. We'd actually like to read some wedding dedications out, if that's okay.
Okay.
This ruin the cred?
I'm very much into the music. I mean, do you remember when I did backing vocals for you? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, so Bruno doesn't know then that it was actually you that came down that did all the backing vocals.
When I came down to your house.
Oh, yeah.
And we're writing
Do you live next door to
songs
Dave?
The lovely Chinese carpet he had as well, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like that. Was it expensive?
Well, it's not a real Chinese, it's just all the Chinese food that's been dropped on it over the years. It's a funky carpet, isn't it?
And his bird, you've got a bird house, haven't you?
There are
And
birds
lovely,
everywhere.
he's done his loft out.
What, an
as well.
aviary like?
What?
An aviary?
What's that? That's
A birdhouse.
isn't it? That's something you
Oh,
wave
those
me from.
birds. Oh, it's amazing what you're learning there. Something About You, Level 42. It's 7 minutes to 9 on Radio 1FM. Mark King and Mike Lindop of Level 42 are now going to read some wedding dedications to increase total credibility. Now, in fact,
How humiliating for them.
an all-time low. We've only got 3, actually. Not many people get married in December, that's the thing. But we've got lots of anniversaries.
Yeah.
And yet they got married in December, if you know what I mean.
I
Must
got
be just a
divorced in
dying
December.
trend.
Our divorce spot's gone down the Swanee, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want us to do a request for you,
Me, well, for my divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, we'll
these
leave
things
that.
are,
Tacky
they're
tabloids.
hard enough anyway.
It
Yeah.
only lasted 3 weeks anyway.
All right.
Do the weddings. That's what we're here for now.
Hey, it went quiet then, didn't it?
Yes, we're getting a bit sensitive there.
No. Listen, you know, these things happen. But I'll tell you, I'm going to read out a wedding thing now. I feel like Cliff Mitchell. This is going out to for David and Debbie, and I suppose that's David Elson of Ambleside in the Lake District, sending all our love and best wishes to you because you're getting married on the 8th of December. That's today at 12 o'clock. They listen, the very best of luck to you. My advice to you is, if you're really in love, then you go ahead and do it, you know. But just make sure you're in love and you'll be all right.
Well,
Dr. King?
Never had a wedding spot like this one.
I felt a draft then, and it was Mike whistling.
It was me trying to whistle. It's a bit early in the morning for me. I've got a dedication here. It says, Dear Liz and Bruno, would you please pass my best wishes and congratulations to Paul Williams and Mary Jonathan, who are tying the knot at St Agnes Church in, it looks like, Inkberron, Worcestershire. I hope I've got that right. At 11:45 on Saturday, the 8th of December, from Adrian and Mike, who will be driving the pony and traps. And he also says, thanks for this and for a great programme, and don't be so hard on Liz, Bruno.
No, don't be silly. That's a silly.
I thought it was the other way round.
I think you'd make a DJ, you know.
I think he'd be good, yeah.
Do you know, I think he'd be good on Radio 1.
I think so. I think you'd be good on stage with Level 42 at the
And
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
You want to sing and play keyboards?
No, I'll tell you what, I'll just stick around here. I'll play them instead. I've tried making records.
I
Anyway,
like
moving on.
This one's from Enfield in Middlesex, from Angie and Mum and Dad. Please wish our sister Marie Carter and Mark Hale love and happiness on their wedding day. They're getting married at 11 o'clock at Enfield Register Office, and we want to say just all the best for the future. From Angie, Mum and Dad.
And where's mine?
We've only got 3.
But there's only 3 people getting married today. No, I think there's only 3 people that listen to your show. You know, it's a sad indictment of the times.
It is.
It serves you
all-time low.
Oh, are we going to have another Level 42 record?
We will in a moment, but I'm going to play this for the meantime. Having a chat here with Mike and Mark of Level 42, basically about records and no records and sort of, I don't know. I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to get into politics. It's sad. It's sad that you can't release it, mate.
Well, I'm not being drawn on that one.
No, right.
Well, what I would like to say, maybe I'd
try to get around it, but it didn't happen.
No.
Go on then, Liz. I mean, you've got so many questions to ask Mark.
Well, Caroline A. O'Neill from Glasgow says...
Hey, Caroline, how are you?
She's just fainted.
I'm out to get blittered.
She wants to know, when will you be playing in Scotland again?
Well, in the new year, we'll definitely be up there. At the moment, we're just doing some shows in London, but that's because we'd sort of booked them so far ahead. Believe it or not, we had to book these shows 2 years ago. And until we get the new record out, it's very hard for a band to actually go out and tour without an album to promote.
Yeah.
That's like the sort of the reason for doing it, if you like. But I guarantee you that when the album's out in the new year, we will be up in your neck of the wood, and we'll be travelling out and doing some...
up in the Highlands.
Why are you doing 15 shows at Hammersmith Odeon when you could have done it in 4 nights at Wembley like last time?
Good question. The reason is because we're so... that we enjoyed playing very much from the point of view of seeing that many people and having that many people come to see us is wonderful. It's tremendously flattering. However, acoustically, arenas are not the best... they're not the best circumstance to see Level 42 in. And really, we've always felt that the Optimum place, having sort of been slocking around doing it for 10 years now, we always found that the best situation for us was like a 3,500 to 4,000 seat theatre, where acoustically it sounds fantastic. And of course, you have a much more personal. You're able to see you're able to see the person yawning at the back. So what we said is that if we have to do a lot more nights in a smaller theatre to play to the same amount of people, which is what we're doing. So rather than 8 nights at Wembley, we'll do 15 nights at Hammersmith Odeon. And
it's working out a treat.
It is.
It's
really great.
enjoyable.
We're very happy. And the great thing is that if I can just say this, is that when you do come and see us live, is that it really is the real thing. This isn't a Mickey Mouse outfit. It's like I'm really proud that there's no tapes or any sort of jiggery pokery going on here.
It's just good old-fashioned live rock and roll, isn't it, mate?
Oh, well, not old-fashioned business. I mean, let's go the old-fashioned bit. It's good, modern, old-fashioned stuff.
What's your favourite? I mean, I'm going to ask you this because we'll play it for you. I mean, do you have a favourite from all these albums you've recorded? Mike?
Well, I like, different tracks because of the different moods and memories that they bring back. I've never really been one to say, well, this was my favourite absolute song. But there are one or two that I think, are evergreen for me, and Children Say is definitely one of those.
Children Say.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be then. I'm so organised, have you noticed?
There you are.
Children Say, anyway, that's for Mike. Was it one of your favourites as well, Mark?
Yes, I've always liked that song a lot. Being about a word, wouldn't I? I don't really have any sort of great favourites of ours, but I have liked everything we've done. The idea of making your own music is not to do something that you're not happy with, he said topically. But it's I'm a bit gobsmacked here because Dave Lee Travis has walked in here.
Yeah.
And he was the first famous man I ever saw when our very first Top of the Pops appearance. He was in the bar at the BBC.
I don't drink.
And our manager...
You're propping it up.
Lie.
Our first manager, John Gould, said, hey, go on up and say hello. So I I was so nervous, and I went up and tapped him on the shoulder.
Wrong.
And absolutely wrong, yeah. Because he turned around and sort of fixed me with a steely glare, as if to say, what do you want?
You're making this up.
I'm not making
You're
it
making
up. It's
this
absolutely
up.
true. And I felt like one of those sort of characters in Spinal Tap. I felt like I sort of said, thanks very much for everything. And then scuttered off into the chorus.
Now, come on, your memories cloud a little bit, don't they?
You did that to me when I
Right.
first came.
He did it to me, actually, as well.
I've told you that
Oh,
story,
great,
Mike.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is Attack Travis Day,
He
isn't
does
it?
it to everybody.
Oh, please.
Well, if you will walk in here, what do you...
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I know that. No, it's just one of those things. Really, I suppose.
Oh, I never thought badly of you for it, I thought that...
You can make up now, anyway, whatever you decide.
Sorry.
Get down, I'm here.
Definitely one of Mark King's favourites, anyway. Take care of yourself. Any reason for that?
Well, yeah, one, because it was the first record we ever recorded on our own studios, from start to finish. Also, it featured Al Murphy on guitar, and he was a tremendous friend of ours that very sadly passed away last year. So, there's a lot of things in there, and also lyrically, it was it was a bit prophetic in what events were about to happen. I mean, there's one line in there, 1990, here we go. It was referring to the fact that we were launching into 1990. May the next 10 break the mould. And, of course, we've seen, like, the demise of Mrs. Thatcher. All in all, it's been, a bit of a weird year. I shan't be sorry to see the back of it, And I wish I kept my mouth shut on the record.
Haven't you just built your own studio? I mean, I read. I don't know whether there is.
Well, it's sort of, it's been sort of 2 years in the making, and we made the new album there as well.
Because I must admit, I mean, some bands actually, they've built their own studios, spent fortunes, and found it's been a mistake at the end of the day.
Well, whatever anybody else does is no concern of mine,
No.
When I went to Dave's house in Los Angeles, he just built his own studio.
Dave? Who's Dave?
Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart. Oh, right, yeah.
Been round there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Mark, what were you saying?
Yes, sorry. Yes, she's such a name dropper, isn't she?
I know, it's terrible.
I was saying
Well, she
to
did
Big
call you
Charles
up.
the other night. I hate name droppers. But building your own studio, it seems to us, well, it seemed to me to be a natural progression of having worked in. When you start, when you're a fresh band, you really don't know anything about anything. You go into a studio, you have a producer to hold your hand and get, work things out for you. You have an engineer sat at the desk. He has a tape op, and you're never, and it's quite rightly so, because you wouldn't know what the hell you were doing. That they work the whole thing for you. But if you just take the time to sort of look over their shoulders and start understanding what they're doing, you can actually start. Because there's always a communication breakdown. So if you have to stand to somebody and say, look, I want it to sound a bit honkier, and then they sort of pass the message on down the line, it's like Chinese whispers, and you can never get to what you wanted. But if you can actually get your hands onto the gear, you say, oh, look, you know, I don't know how to explain. How do you explain sounds? But if you get there and start tweezing the knobs, you know.
And the fact you want to spend all night on one particular note or one particular
of course,
in a mix of people. I mean, some people would say you were being temperamental if you're in another studio, say a hired studio with a producer and...
Well, plus the fact you couldn't afford to do it, you know, that, I mean, studio rates are very expensive, and I mean that you have to take into consideration the budget for the album, as it were. So if you have the luxury of having your own, you know, 48-track facility...
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
I tell you what, in 4 words a piece, what's the best advice you could give to any musician coming up? In 4 words.
Oh, Mike.
Well, I don't know if I can do it in 4 words, but I think, you know, you have to believe in yourself, even if others perceive it as being big-headed. And you have to just keep trying, basically keep writing songs, and, you know, the more you can do, the better it's going to get.
Got to keep going, haven't you, mate?
Absolutely, yes, you know, and you must have faith in yourself, because, you know, when you're starting out, no one else will, and it's only that sort of blind faith, naivety or whatever that gets you through.
One thing that interested me when I saw you live was all the fans were going absolutely mad for the music. I observed, you know, they loved the music, they loved the songs, they were just dancing and really enjoying it. Not like when you go and see Madonna or Prince or George Michael and they've got the tight trousers on and they're writhing about on the backs, bonking the stage. I mean, you don't do any of that, do you?
Well, splinters and all that. They're not British, I mean, for goodness sake.
How do you describe, you know, your persona? Is it hard for you being a musician?
It's a case of each to his own. I mean, you know, Madonna's thing is all that choreography and dancing and sort of theatrical stuff. And, you know, I think she does it very well. I think Prince is great for what he does. But, you know, we don't do that. That's not really our bag.
No, it's very hard to sort of, to throw yourselves about.
And play at the same time.
It is extremely hard to do that, yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming in, guys.
Is that you're not sending him off, are you?
Well, you know, I've got stuff to do. I mean, you know...
He's changed his mind, isn't he?
We've got nothing else for the next 45 minutes.
I've got my choice of record.
Oh, hang on, you haven't done the top 10.
No, I haven't. Oh, I haven't got all the jingles ready. I need all the jingles ready.
Hey, well, listen, while you're sort of dithering, you know, not to say the game's up here, can I say I'm excited there because my kids are going to be coming up to see the show today. This will be the first time they've ever seen the show.
Really?
Yeah, so if they're listening in, you know, I look forward to seeing you later, Florian and Darcy.
Okay, right. Well, thanks a lot anyway.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bruno.
Cheers.
Thank you.